All right, today we back here with another episode of No Line, No Bull. We got L. L was coming in to step in to talk to us about supply chain, security, and the psychology behind how people move, think, and operate. From protecting assets to protecting your mind, this episode connects business structure with cultural awareness and legacy building. Husband, father, African psychologist, L gives game the way it actually should go and the way you should use it. Let's talk a little bit about the supply chain, the security background you got, L.
Yes, I got into that. I got supply chain and security. Probably when I left school. So like back in 2017, got into it, and I entered it in a real interesting space. I just needed some money.
Right.
And that was the thing, to get some money in, and I did not enter it as no mega mogul and entrepreneur. No,
Right.
I was working a job. I was working a job for somebody and had several different bosses.
Exactly.
But I picked up, like anything that I've been doing in life, I picked up on it quick, and people started noticing, like, hey, how did you fix this error on the supply chain? Because the biggest thing about supply chain or logistics is fixing errors. How do you minimize errors? How do you create a level of efficiency, a structure that can sustain the efficiency as best as possible? You do that, you win, especially in the supply chain. So I came in, man, just watching the computers, and we had this shipment or this fulfillment or this inventory going out. Started linking what goes with what. I just started like, okay, hold on, y'all. Don't take 3 pieces off of that. And 3 pieces might be the difference of being in the red with your fulfillment order or being in the green. Exactly. And it matters. You want to be in the green more than you're in the red.
Most definitely.
But, you also have people ordering and they want what they want. But it got to become like anything. You got to be able to find a way to discuss with the client, and not just customer always right, but, hey, man, look, I know you want 5 trash cans, but if I get you 3, they'll get there 30 minutes before 5. So do you want some trash picked up, or do you want no trash picked up?
Exactly.
And you got to wait to get what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like little stuff like that. That's the nuance that I picked up on, and it's a replica of my life, man. Just learning how to link things together
and make them little adjustments to make things
little
work.
Adjustments, and then they got bigger. And once I realized, quite naturally, watching my pops, watching you, I was just like, yeah, I can't stay on this job for too much longer.
I know, that's right.
I need to climb. So that's when I got into transportation. That's when I got into like inventory management.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So it's African psychology or Africana psychology?
Africana.
Africana psychology. Yeah. How you get into
that? Being born in Israel and how my family got there, my granddad being just the legend that he is, even in Chicago. Prince Asiel, aka Warren Brown, if you ever want to look him up, one of the few men in this world that went head to head with the U.S. system. And they tried to give him 300 years, and he stood up and told them in court, America, you don't have 300 years to give me.
Right.
And they locked him up, but he got out, beat the case, and all of that. And it wasn't for no mischievous crimes. It was just that he felt that Black people were given a bad hand to deal with. And he wanted to do something about it. And so him and his partner, they moved a good deal of people, about 6,000 in the beginning.
Okay.
From Chicago, all places in America, to Israel, relocated, started a village, community and all that. And they went through some African nations, but ended up in Israel. And so when I started studying the why, I was like, okay, how do we evolve this? Because even as we got there, you realize that you can't take the nigga out of nobody. It's like we say, you can't take the hood out of a man. Like, our foundation is our foundation. So you move some people who wanted to do good, but wasn't all the way ready to do good. And so some bad things was happening over there. It still holistically was a great plan, but some real negligent behaviors was taking place. And so then I was like, all right, how do we fix this? And so I started, funny enough, because I was affected by some of that negligence, I was just like, like most people, get money, you'll change the world. And then my dad, as I was going to college, I ain't really planning on going to college. I was trying to go pro soccer. I hadn't gotten any offers, so I was like, all right, college will be my backup, because surely I get somebody to see me in college.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was like, so what you gonna study? And I was like, shit, business. Like, nigga, I done ran a business all your life. What they gonna tell you? At best, all they gonna give you is the proper nomenclature, how to say a thing or what to call it for somebody else's ear. But the basic of understanding business, dude, you fired somebody at 12 and you was a manager. Yeah. So I was like, all right, so then what's up? So he was like, psychology, trust me. And first day, I took sociology, and I was like, boom.
That's it.
I got it.
Okay.
Like, I understood what affects the brain from micro level and the macro level. Okay. And when I understood that, I said, okay. They were talking about PTSD, and this was before the term became popular for regular people.
Right.
I said, so I raised my hand, and my teacher's from Switzerland. And I said, so the average Black person in America got PTSD. She said, yeah, because, mostly that term was just coined and used around the Army.
Army and military,
I'm like,
yeah.
Hey, military is extreme, but shit, living as a Black man and a Black woman is extreme too.
Yeah.
And it's some PTSD that don't allow us to have healthy relationships. So
most definitely.
Again, going back to moving to Israel, seeing what caused the disruption in healthy relationships when I got to college and saw how to change it.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, all right, but I was just learning from the Friedrich Nietzsche's, the Freud's, the Klondikes, all these European psychologists who had something to say for real, but they wasn't talking about us in the fullness of Black people.
Right.
So I was like, all right, where the Black psychologists at, and what do they have to say? And so then I learned how to mix both of them, because people grew up in America just as much as African as they are in their origin. They grew up here too. So
yeah,
you need to use kind of both of them to get us some real gain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sound about right. All right, I like that. You're on the right path.
Yeah, and that's kind of how they led me to the security piece.
Yeah.
Is learning supply chain. That just taught me how to be efficient. Learning psychology taught me how to deal with people. And then the security, I'm like, you're gonna always need to be able to protect.
Yeah.
What it is you building.
I like that.
Or else you subjected to anything.
Yeah.
So if you can't protect your mentals, you're damn sure gonna be able to protect your physical.
Most definitely.
We need both.
And you need both. You hit it right on the head. You definitely need both. So yeah, you're a family man too.
Yeah, man.
Husband, father, son, and brother. How that feel?
Oh man, it's I really ain't been talking. This is probably the most talking I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I know.
I used to always be like, man, D just be quiet, man. He just be moving.
Very observative, lean back and make moves.
But he don't say too much. My pop's kind of the same way. Unless he in his setting, he don't talk too much.
Exactly.
And so I never asked y'all why, but as I've been learning this role and even discussing with y'all, like, Pops, what you feel about, I just made this business move, I just did this. And it's like, damn, like, the homies you used to kick it with, it ain't that they can't be around. Them being around just costs too much. And not even money-wise. You just be like, bro, I do not feel like explaining this to you again.
Yeah.
And so the brother part has bought me silence. And just becoming a husband, like, as much as I love the men in my life, it's certain things we ain't talk about. From like most guys, it's certain shit you just don't talk about with men because it ain't been common or regular. Right. And so becoming a husband has been a silent ride. That's I've been like not tiptoeing and not make a mistake because that ain't real. But I'm just like, I gotta learn somebody and always continuously learn them as we both adjust, because we both moving through this life. But now I got a partner.
Exactly.
That this ain't no teammate. A teammate we can get down. I can not see you. All we do is train together. This somebody I gotta sleep with. This somebody I gotta check in with. As much as the homies and the guys say, oh, you ain't checking in with nobody. Yeah, all right. Good luck.
Yeah.
So like that's new. And then this father role, just prepping, man. It was probably like a month. I had strong anxiety. It's just like, have I done enough? Like, am I prepared to be somebody's father, somebody's guide, somebody's rock, somebody's foundation? Like, have I done enough to prepare myself for this? And so it was just questioning because, you know, it's a baby girl. So I'm like, this shit different than raising a little me.
Well, it kind of is, but you gotta look at it is that you a good guy, and you gonna show your daughter how a man should really love her and treat her, and when she gets that from her dad, and that's the type of man she's gonna look for. So when you pour into her, she gonna know what a guy's supposed to pour into her.
Yeah, and that was my piece.
Yeah,
I realized I've been raised by some solid guys. I've become a solid guy that I would love to be friends with. And so it put me at peace with worrying about something that I've already made sure I became.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You definitely getting there. You there, but you got a lot more to go.
Yeah,
you young, you still young. Let me go back to the supply chain game. I just want to ask a question about that. Where does most businesses fail in logistics and structure?
That's it, structure. They confuse conveniency with dependency, and so they'll outsource and they'll scale quick. So their inventory might lie within one company.
Right.
Their fulfillment might lie with another. One thing Amazon did was bring everything in-house. So now you see ain't no more delivery. They might have partnerships with some of these UPSs and FedEx, and I think they've been reeling those in because now they got their own vans.
Yeah.
And so most people think that costs too much, but if they properly strategize in the long run, you will create the necessary 3PL within yourself where you don't have to go buy no additional system.
Yeah, exactly.
But some people don't strategize and plan for, okay, this quarter, this is what we're going to do. Or shit, this 5 years is what we're going to do. Because they don't know, the money coming in, you know, orders going out, but they're not always looking to increase efficiency because they feel like, oh, well, it's flowing.
Right.
But flowing, I think when it comes to logistics and supply chain, flowing is not the goal. That's like the result.
Okay.
And so if it's flowing, you want to see how fast or how slow sometimes does this stream need to flow. And you want to be able to control that. And if you can't control that, the flow, then you will miss out on so much money wise because you will begin to literally outsource where, let's say, something as far as fulfillment, right? The goal of it is you want to make sure people are getting their orders.
Exactly.
Simultaneously, how fast can they get their orders?
Can they get their order, right?
But then how fast depends on what type of vans you have, what model are they, what areas, all these things you have to plan and strategize for because you might want to get packages fast back at the crib. But the crib weather is way different than Atlanta. Yeah, we talk about 4 seasons in Atlanta, but once that blizzard comes in Chicago, it might shut down everything.
Yeah. So
now how do you move? How do you guarantee what's your reverse logistics? You know, how do you respond to, okay, we made an error. Okay, some refunds gonna have to go out. Do you go for credit or do you give straight up cash flow? Like all of these things are things that people don't think about.
Yeah.
And it'll punish you in the long run because you're just thinking like, okay, we got this part of logistics. We got this part of supply chain. We just got fulfillment orders. We just got inventory management. We just got transportation. It's like, okay, where do I need to put my focus on above all else?
Exactly.
And then how do I link the points in this chain? Might have 3. This link in the chain might have 2. This one might have 5. But what's going to be the effect? Do you need all of them to just be one separation, one link of separation? Right. You need 2. So it's in basic terms, you just don't want to confuse conveniency, which is, all right, well, shit, this working for me.
Right.
And then depend on that. You want to always have a structure that checks things and keep them in balance.
Okay. And expect the unexpected.
Always. That's what you're planning for.
Right.
Logistics.
Okay.
You're planning for the unexpected.
Unexpected all the time.
You're just working with the what's the come.
Right.
You've already failed.
You failed already. Wow. That's good insight. I like that. I'm gonna move on to your security. You know, you got a lot of hats over here, so we're gonna move around a little bit. What does security really mean outside of guards and cameras?
Asset protection.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would say asset protection just because most people like working with black folks the hardest part. Not because of all the things that people say, but going to that psychology piece, a lot of us ain't never seen ourselves as worth something.
Okay.
So now when I tell you this is the cost associated with protecting you, you feel like, man, shit, I can go get, you can go get a bodyguard.
Or a little Johnny or a little Jimmy.
You feel me? But that ain't the same. Because when little Jimmy pull out that pole and get the rocking,
liability falls on you.
On
then.
you.
Yeah.
Because all they got to say is I was pointing on him. And so now it's like, if you worry about what all you worth, which is going to be a new concept for most of us because shit, the crib wasn't straight. You know, we coming out of that broken home. So now you talking about somebody need to protect you or protect something you own.
Right.
It's the same for our insurance. Is why most people riding around without insurance. Like, all right, cool. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. But what's your plan to get it?
Yeah,
right?
Makes sense.
Same for life insurance. We just don't know how much insurance can work for us, so we rather not have it. And it's the same for security, where beyond the guards, beyond I need to be secured, it's like it's a proactive line of making sure that your day-to-day continues.
Exactly.
And if you know your day-to-day, because I used to be somebody who, man, how the hell he know what he finna do a year out from now? Like on his calendar, he know March 22nd, 2027, it's a plan already there. Like what type of lifestyle could you be living that you can plan that far ahead? But then I realized those are the people whose pockets are way longer.
Yeah.
Because they really have 5 years mapped out.
I like that because I ain't got 5 years mapped out, but I always think years in advance. And that's my tipping point is 5 years out. But I'm always thinking 6 months, a year in advance, where I want to be, what I need to be doing. Have I hit that goal? What do I need to pivot? You know what I'm saying? To get to where I need to be. Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing about security. It's people just understand that I'm worth protecting. I'm worth the extreme circumstances to get to the next day. Because I watched something yesterday and it said, the guy said, if I gave you 12 million, would you take it? He said, hell yeah, you take it. Stop pausing. And then the guy was like, yeah, I'll take it. He said, but if I gave you 12 million at 12 a.m. this morning and told you the next 12 a.m. you're not going to make it, you'll die, would you take it? The guy was like, nah. He said, so that should show you that every day you wake up, you worth more than at least $12 million. So carry yourself like that. And I think it's the same thing for security, is that you gotta understand, and some of it when we market to people, we let them know like this is how much you're worth. If you fuck up right now or somebody gets you, this is what all is gonna get slowed down, delayed, or just completely evaporate. Exactly. It ain't gonna exist no more. So now, do you want to take that risk? If you want to take that risk, hey, cool. But outside of that, I think that's the main point of security. It's just to show people, you know what, it's like, I relate it like this. The kids who had two parents that loved them, everybody know no matter what age, they moved different at school.
They did.
But they had a level of security that most of us never knew.
Yep.
And that's how I related to clients and everybody else. That kid could jump off the building, but they knew they got this blanket sheet that was going to always cover them. So they could soar 50 times more.
2 layers there. Yeah. That makes sense. All right, we're still jumping around. We're going to get into the Africana psychology. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the Africana psychology in your own words. What is it?
In my own words, just breaking down the mind so that it can thrive in the black way. Like, I think we throw around terms, like even if just saying black, like that has been supposedly the most derogatory thing. Like when I coming from Israel to America, and my nickname once I was, around the gang and stuff was Blackie. I'm just like, shit. All right.
That's my name.
Yeah, like, but I'm not looking at it like, I'm darker than everybody.
Right.
So that's I'm not, black. What's up, black? I'm like, shit, that's a cool ass name. I'm not thinking about it like that until later I learned, like, You didn't mean it like that? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you think that black is associated with something derogatory or something bad?
Right.
And so now Africana psychology to me is just showing a level of connecting you back to your roots and in the most sacred parts of your mind, the most intimate parts of your mind that you don't share with nobody, so that you can truly understand not just where you came from, because history is important, but just also understanding the power that you have to move in this world. And I don't even want to just be loose with power. Just understanding, all right, me as a black person, this is all I'm equipped with every day. And if I understand that, then how can I be upset at somebody making this move? How can I be upset at why would I put weave in my daughter's head just because? You know what I mean? Because it's like now her beauty representation ain't based off of me just putting weave in her head. Her beauty representation is off the fact that I can braid her hair. I can grow her hair.
Yeah.
Her hair is people killing for it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like just understanding what your melanin is worth on the most intimate, basic level, that when you love somebody, you ain't got to look outside of this skin. You ain't threatened by this skin tone. There's nothing in opposition when you meet this skin tone. You're more open to it.
Exactly. Yeah, I like how you broke that down. I would tell I don't like my girls and wife and them putting all that extra stuff on either.
And it's cancers, man. They finding out that it's cancer in this stuff. And so like now you talking about like something as simple as breast cancer, it's lipstick, it's makeup. And it ain't the fact that I've studied enough to know we've been using couture to make us, men and women, look a different way in certain ceremonial things and all that. Like, it's real. But there's some natural stuff out here that ain't gonna cause you cancer later on when you look back at it.
Yeah, exactly.
And whether you want to look pretty for 30, 50, 60 years, or you rather be healthy for 100 and something plus.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the biggest thing is, I always tell women, especially my sisters, like, growing up watching them, I'm like, J. Cole had a line, he said, you putting the makeup on to get yourself, to find a man that'll kill for you. So you killing yourself to find a man that'll kill for you. Where the hell does that make sense at?
Makes sense at, yeah.
Where that makes sense at? And I ain't never saying they gotta be these other women out here, but going to school with white women, I used to watch them just get ready to go to a thing. Man, they get fly in their own way. Yeah. And they out. And whatever they are in that time, that's just who they are.
That's who they are.
Ain't nothing they got to do. And I ain't for all of them, because we know it's some white women that's going to get done up.
Right.
But for the most part, they walk this earth differently. And I just be trying to get, especially with psychology, to show us, we got to ask ourselves what made us think we can't walk this earth in our regular skin.
In our regular skin, yeah, with all the other extra stuff on.
You feel me? Yeah. Regardless if it's a protective style and all of this stuff.
But the thing about it is, most women, I kind of think they say they do it to, beautify themselves or for other women, because they say women, when come into parties or wherever they at, they look at each other, you know what I'm saying? So they dial themselves up to go against other dials, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So, but you ask a man, do you like the eyelashes? 90% of them say no.
No.
Do you like the weave? 90% of them say no. Do you like all the base on the face? 90% of them say no. So why are y'all doing it? And the men say they like you in your natural skin. I don't understand that.
Yeah. So and that's the psychology part, is when you say you beautifying yourself up, whose definition of beauty are you using? Because we can go to other places, and that's not beauty if you're in Panama.
Nope.
That ain't beauty if you're in Papua New Guinea. Their beauty standards is way different.
Way different.
So why is yours to look like somebody who don't like you?
Exactly.
Why your makeup make you look lighter?
Yeah. Why you straightening your hair?
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, we like your kinks and curls.
Yeah.
But I think it ain't enough of us, because even the ones that say they don't like it, they'll take it. And they'll take it because I got a dime piece. She bad. She this, she that. And it's like, nah, bro, psychologically, you don't understand how damaging that is.
Yeah.
When you about to raise a little girl, she got to look up, and now she trying to put on mommy's makeup because mommy do that.
Because mommy dress up like a clown every day.
You feel me? So now what if she poke her eye out? What if all these things happen? And so that's why like the psychology and security, all that's tied together because you want to be proactive. But if you got everybody else's standards of as to how you should live, and you don't have one that's actually appropriate for your skin tone, man, we screwed.
Yeah, you're right. All right, we'll leave them alone for right now. They got enough of that. How do you balance being a husband, father, and professional at the same time?
Man, it's tough. I'm still learning. I think the biggest part is learning to sit down in some silence.
Yeah.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, take 15, quick little nap, and just let my mind go. I've been in the car lately with no music, and my mind ain't racing, but I'm just tied to the road.
You get like me now. You see, you got that old soul because I find myself driving. I look up, I'm like, dang, I ain't had no music in 20 minutes.
For real.
But you just relax your mind and,
from just being in it.
Yeah.
Especially once, like you say, professional. You running businesses. You're a dad. You a husband. You still a son. You still a brother.
Yeah. And
so even my parents been like, man, we ain't been in contact with you lately. Like, you had any emergencies? If that ain't it, like, I'm going to call you. I'm going to pick up. But, like, sometimes my busyness is just my stillness.
Right.
Like, that's the meeting I got to get to. I need to get to some quiet.
Right.
And I learned how to just start managing, like stabilizing. Not tell people, oh, yeah, I'm in a meeting. Bro, I am sitting right here on this couch in silence.
Right.
But what I don't need is any more noise from anywhere else. So that's the key right now. We're going to see how long that lasts.
Right. Okay. Well, it seems like you managing it real good and stuff. If you want better results, what do you need to change today? I want you to tell that to the audience, though. You can tell that to the audience. For somebody that's probably, in a position or looking for more structure in their life or looking for, spiritual healing or, something, to get somebody out of that rut that they in. You know what I'm saying? What would they need to change today?
Get connected. I think when you ask about what Africana studies, part of it to me is, or Africana psychology, is that understanding this idea of isolation. That's not us. We do community stuff because when you're in a community, you recognize as a son, you recognize as a daughter, whatever your role is, husband, father, all these things gonna always be calling on you. So to be in isolation where you're not reminded of what you got to do, I don't think that serves Black folk. I think you need, the biggest thing at 18, you got to get out. It's like, what?
Right.
First of all, you can't even afford this house with me in it.
Right.
And now I'm finna leave just because. Are you crazy? So that's all of that stuff ties into our psychology of repeating some shit that other people saying it don't even benefit our economics. And so when it comes to people's structure, if you have to change tomorrow, man, start rethinking, reimagining, like every single thing that you want, from freedom to money to your wife, to your husband, to the girl, whatever it is. Reimagine what it is that you want and why you want it, and write it down. That's my biggest thing. I tell my homies every time, go get a journal. Bro, I've been writing in my journal, bro. Ain't talking about some niggas who sit outside playing in that world, and bro, don't incriminate yourself in this book,
right?
But write your thoughts down because I know that's not what you want to. We all know anybody who's ever been in that world, that's not where you want to live.
No,
it's not healthy.
No,
and that's part of the biggest thing that ever pushed me towards entrepreneur. Today I was on the phone right before you pulled up. It was like, what's the next spot?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but what world is you talking about when you say people don't want to be in that world?
The world of just, I don't want to just say violence, but this street life.
Yeah, me and my son was talking about that yesterday, and I thought that's what you was talking about, and I wanted to, iterate a little bit on that. We was talking about street life, and a lot of cats get into street life just because they think it's cool. And it was something when I told him some cats got it in the street life because that was really their only choice. at that particular moment.
Yep.
And I done seen the street life turn some of the lamest guys
Turn all the way
into killers,
all the way
straight killers. So when people want to just jump in that street life, just to jump in it and think it's just for, it's cool. I don't think this is what you want to do.
Nah.
Because the street life will have you in a position to do something that you really don't want to do. But it's going to be you going home or them going home.
That's it.
Make a choice now. Because this is what you wanted. Now, you can go ahead.
I mean, I think and that's the thing that, like, studying Black Africana psychology that put me on game of late is, if we got this system, this school system that don't support boys, but Black boys in particular.
Right.
And so now, by the age of 7 or 8, you are disinterested. You're no longer interested in schooling or structure, really. Because that's what I'm saying it is. You're not into the structure.
Right.
Now, like I told, like Jake's situation, my middle brother, you 6'2" in the 9th grade, 9th, 10th grade. Most niggas playing ball if you 6'2" in the 9th grade.
Right.
This nigga has no interest in the 9th grade, in sports. Further, you're an artist. They cut the art program. Now your choices are cool because this is the understanding human psychology at its basis is we pack animals. So we want to be around other people. So if they cut, you're not interested in sports, they cut the arts program. The only thing left for you to be cool in at a Black school is the underworld.
Right.
They don't have no limits. You can wear glasses, you can be fat, you can be out of shape, in shape, tall, short. It don't have no requirements to be in the streets.
Right.
You ain't even, especially these days, you don't even have to come from struggle.
Nope.
You just, hey man, I want to sign up for that.
Yeah.
And it ain't no sign up, just hang around a bunch of niggas long enough, and now your hands twisted in every photo.
Yeah.
Your fingers you got arthritis.
Yeah.
And so now I've understood, like you're saying, like just people going towards things that they're not attracted to. We always talk about the streets, but we do the same in our dating world. We do the same in our business world. We get attracted to careers, jobs, people that we just don't need to be around.
Exactly.
And it's unhealthy. But our psychology, we don't tend to our foundations. We don't tend to what made us. We don't tend to, man, I came from my deuce. All right, my deuce had this problem. Dad had this problem. But don't judge them. Let me go ask, hey, D, why you used to do this back then? My deuce said that, I remember she told me the story about y'all, she went to a Busta Rhymes concert with your cousin. And she was telling me like what happened and how she just refused to be disloyal to you. And I was like, what type of guy does D have to be to show up to be that for this woman? You talking about Busta Rhymes, Pastor Cavassier in his prime.
Right.
They don't know your name, but this is the loyalty she got. So I'm like, all right. But then okay, BJ like that. Maddie like that. Quincy like that. Okay, this shit get passed down. So what else are we passing down to our kids that we don't know? Exactly. And so then we get to thinking like, okay, man, he just be out of control. Like, nigga, where he get it from? He make himself.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I mean. Like when I say we go play in worlds that we don't have no business and we want to be a part of things that we are not interested in, but it sound cool. It's it all has to go back to our psychology. We don't have enough conversations. Because I don't think therapy is where you got to go sit on the couch and talk to somebody. Therapy might, hey, D, what was your dad like with you? So then I understand why you moved this way with us. My dudes, why, how was your mom with you? Like, go back and ask your parents, what was they like when they was kids? And I think when you do that, that's the part of this Africana psychology is your therapy ain't necessarily on the couch. It's already rooted in your culture. But you so far off it, you just walking around aloof. So again, when they go back to the street stuff, you interested not necessarily in the game, but you need community. Yeah. But that's the only option you think you got to choose from.
It's the game.
It's the game, and it ain't that. You just ain't looking broad enough.
Yeah.
You just capped it off to, nah, let me be around these niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing damn well you have no want to go be popping guns and somebody shooting at you. You shouldn't want that.
You shouldn't want that at all, yeah.
That is not healthy.
Most definitely.
Me and you both can tell me.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not what you want.
No.
So it's the same, I think it's the same concept that just get to your understanding. If you want to change your daily structure, understand, why am I doing this? Ask yourself more questions than most people do. Why am I choosing this person? And be okay with the answer, even if you got to leave them.
Yeah, most definitely. Man, I'm let you know, El, it was a good sit down, man. You dropped a lot of gems and everything. And if you got any social media or anything you want people to follow you on, you can go ahead and shout that out.
Yeah, we follow me at. Actually, you can't follow me right now. Yeah, my social is private, and then we working on.
Well, they'll see your request, and you probably accept them in. Yeah, review them, let them in.
ELYAHMEN.B, and we got the air conditioning project coming out, which is basically understanding that a lack of conversation between sons and their father go on to disrupt the son's life with socially, romantically, career-wise, even his internal dialogue is disrupted because he don't have these conversations with his pops. And so now he into it with every man he see because of what he feel like he can't say to his pops. And then pops don't know how to say, son, you can come talk to me. Because he ain't had that relationship with his pops. So now we just keep passing this shit down.
Right.
And we keep saying, oh, you a man. But like, based off what? Nigga, because you had some coochie.
Right.
You got a car, you got a job. Nigga, let's write some passes you've been through.
Yeah, exactly.
So we coming up with that project. So
I like that.
The socials will be out. And you know, you'll have an exclusive first interview so we can get it rocking.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Let's do that. All right, y'all. We ended another episode of No Line, No Bull. Man, we just had a good one with El. We out of here. Peace. Cool.